My initial video, I described Gypsy Rose as a master manipulator, and a lot of people didn't like that. People have said, where's the evidence? Where's proof? Here it is.
Like, it's something that I'm gonna have to address because it's always in my comments. Like, why are we glorifying a murderer and this and that and the other? And, you know, I don't want to have to remind people every single time that I'm not the one that committed the act of the kill.
So everyone knows Gypsy Rose is pregnant, right? Let me tell you something that you don't know.
Oh, honey, I am so not threatened by you. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. You're just mad because I have a Chad. And last time I checked, you don't have a man. So, looks like you're the one that's panini pressed. Call a spade, honey. Keep making content.
And I believe that, yes, I understand that she already did the time and she cannot be convicted twice for the same crime. But at the same time, she's not, Tiffy said.
Money coming, this is money coming, this is money coming to me always. Money coming in all day, money coming in all.
I'm starting to notice something, and tell me if you're noticing it too, but it seems like the media frenzy tide is beginning to turn against Gypsy Rose. In all of the posts that used to glorify her, stand with her, it now seems like a lot of people are turning against her. Many are saying that she is a master manipulator who only is concerned with fame, and that's why she only follows a handful of social media accounts, and they're all media outlets like TMZ and things like that. A lot of people also don't love the fact that her ex-boyfriend, who is the one who committed the murder against her mother, is still in jail while she's out free and getting this like huge national press tour. But here's another thing that makes me wonder if she is in fact a master manipulator. She says that she doesn't identify as a murderer because her ex-boyfriend is the one who committed the murder, right?
Like, it's something that I'm gonna have to address because it's always in my comments. Like, why are we glorifying a murderer and this and that and the other? And, you know, I don't want to have to remind people every single time that I'm not the one that committed the act of the kill.
But she admitted point blank that she did shoot her mother before she was murdered, saying she grabbed the gun and she pulled the trigger several times. She also says that the only reason that Dee Dee survived is because it was a BB gun, which when she grabbed the gun, she thought it was a regular gun. She didn't know it was a BB gun. She also says she wasn't intending to kill her, but who grabs a gun, pulls the trigger a bunch of times, not trying to kill somebody? This also coincidentally happened right after one of their very heated arguments. Is there more manipulation here than on the surface? Something that also kind of feels weird is that in the whole slew of interviews she's been doing in the past week or so, anytime she's asked directly about her involvement with convincing her ex to murder her mother and all of those things, she quickly shuts it down, or her PR team does, and she just says, I can't talk about that, I'm focusing on my healing, I'm not the murderer. But you are kind of the one who relentlessly messaged him and so kind of forced his hand into doing it when he said he didn't want to. So why aren't you taking any accountability for it? I did a deep dive kind of just like dismantling her recent docuseries that she did with Lifetime and all of these interviews, breaking down all of the new confessions, the allegations, even like the sexual ABUSC allegations, all of those things. So it's all on my podcast if you haven't listened yet. It's pretty wild. Which side of the fence do you stand on now? Do you think she is just a master manipulator or no?
Gypsy Rose, let's talk about it. My initial video, I described Gypsy Rose as a master manipulator, and a lot of people didn't like that. People have said, where's the evidence? Where's proof? Here it is. But first, this person says I'm basing my opinion off the act, which is not true. When I initially watched the act, I didn't think Gypsy was in the wrong at all. I didn't think she was a manipulator. I just thought she was a scared girl doing what she had to do to survive. I do believe she is a victim. A lot of people are saying I'm victim blaming. I don't agree with that. I do believe she's a victim, and there is nothing on this entire planet that she could have done to deserve any of the things that happened to her. So let's not try to twist my words. It was only until I started watching real interviews of Gypsy, things Gypsy put out herself, the docu-series, and a few documentaries, that I kind of started noticing inconsistencies. On to the proof. I think it's very bold of her to claim that she does not identify as a murderer. She said, I didn't commit the act, so I'm not a murderer. I could never do that. I don't have that in me to be able to do that. When in one of her docu-series that she put out, The Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose, she directed it, she spoke in it, it is in her own words. That her and her mother were in a heated argument. She saw a pew-pew on the table, and without hesitation, she picked it up, unloaded 10 rounds into her mother, only then to realize it was a BB pew-pew and not real. My question is, who picks up a pew-pew, not knowing if it's real or not, and unloads a whole clip into someone without the intention of unaliving them? And then states, my intention was not to unalive her, I don't know why I did that. That's insane, and that's manipulative, because clearly you do have it in you because you tried it before, it just didn't pan out the way you thought it would. Also, in my first video, I explained how it's kind of suspect that she does not speak about Nick Godejohn and she shuts down the conversation and redirects it. A lot of people have said, well, it's in her parole that she cannot talk about him. That's absolutely incorrect, because in her 6-part series that she put out in her own words, she talked about him a lot. I believe that she does not want to speak on him when she is not in control of the conversation and what she is saying and what the questions that she's answering are. When someone else brings up a question that she does not want to answer because, I don't know, maybe she doesn't want to incriminate herself, maybe she doesn't want to raise red flags, she completely distances herself from him. She detaches him from the conversation, turns it back on herself, and then talks about herself. Oh, I can't worry about him, it's all about me, wish him best. For the rest of his life in prison, babe, there is no best in that. Which also, he should be in prison. He should be getting psychiatric help in prison for the rest of his life. He is not innocent. A lot of people were also saying I'm defending him. I'm not defending him in the slightest. He is sick and twisted and disturbed, and he deserves to be getting help for the rest of his life. I'm not excusing what he did at all. I was simply pointing out the manipulation that led him to do it. Which brings me back to, Gypsy not only stole and provided him with the knife, but there are interviews of him saying that she did a lot more than what y'all know. In one of his interviews, he says that she left gloves outside for him and told him not to touch the door. Put the gloves on and don't touch the door, I'll let you in, to make sure that there are no fingerprints and they could get away with it. Also, in one of his interviews, a lot of people are asking where's the proof that he did not want to do it. It's in his interviews if you look them up. He says if there was anything that he could take back or do differently, he would have never have done it. He would have grabbed Gypsy and run like he initially wanted to do. He talked about their conversation saying, are you sure you want to do this? This is not something to joke about. This is really serious. And she said yes. Furthermore, in her court proceedings, where everyone keeps saying, oh, he manipulated her into it, it was his idea. In court, they ask her whose idea was it, and she says hers. They asked who talked who into doing it. She said, I talked him into doing it. So it looks like y'all are the ones that don't know your facts. I would do a little research and come back to this video. I'm still willing to talk about it.
Let me explain to you how twisted Gypsy Rose's love life is. The 32-year-old just announced that she's 11 weeks pregnant with her boyfriend Ken Urker's baby. But just a few months ago in March, Gypsy announced that she was separating from her husband Ryan Scott Anderson after getting married in a prison ceremony in July 2022. The following month, she revealed that she was back with Urker, who she got engaged to in 2018 while serving prison time. The pair eventually broke up, and that's when she began dating Ryan. But I guess it was meant to be for the pair, who say they're excited to become parents in January 2025.
Did y'all just see the new trailer for Gypsy Rose's show today?
I saw it.
If this doesn't show you who she is as a person, I don't know what will. Roll the clip.
A couple days ago, I went to the bedroom, woke Ryan up. I said, I need to tell you something. He said, I'm asleep. I said, I miss Ken.
He must have woke up quick.
He did, and he was like, you need to let that go. You need to let him go. You are married. And I'm like, I know I am. But I think that we both need to come to terms with the fact that I have two men in my heart. And he's still there in my heart. This is the day before Valentine's Day, too. Not only did I call Ken 2 weeks before the wedding, but the conversation that Ken and I had, I was honest with Ryan about it. I asked Ken, I said, if you don't want me to get married, then you need to tell me now.
And what he told you?
And he told me that I want you to do what makes you happy. I think you should wait. But he didn't say wait for me. If he would have said wait for me,
You wouldn't.
You know what's funny about this? Is she allowed Ken to pick her up and put her down like a raggedy pair of shoes. Meanwhile, she's playing Ryan because she said if he would have told her not to get married and wait for him, she would have done so. So that means you've been playing with Ryan's heart. ma'am, and this man has been picking you up and putting you down like a pair of shoes, baby, your karma's finna come, and it's gonna come real hard.
And now Gypsy is expecting her first child. So as you can probably expect, Ryan did not take this news well. According to sources, Gypsy reached out to Ryan to break the news to him before it was made public, and he was very, very upset.
So everyone knows Gypsy Rose is pregnant, right? Let me tell you something that you don't know. In the state of Louisiana, if you haven't been divorced longer than 300 days, I think, from the time that you give birth, legally, your baby has to have your husband's last name. Ask me how I know. Because 10 years ago, I went through the exact same thing. So little Jip, you're gonna have to have Ryan come down there and sign an affidavit of paternity saying that he's not the father. And then you'll have to have your new baby daddy, Ken, Ryan, whatever his name is. You'll have to have him come and probably do a DNA. He can sign an acknowledgement of paternity as well. But the only way for that baby to have the correct last name is for the affidavit of paternity to be filed. So if you don't do that, sister, looks like it's Ryan's baby.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is pregnant, and her baby registry has been posted on her Instagram story. You can still donate to her diaper fund and give her cash and gifts, because every fucking item, this outlet monitor, so expensive. Travel systems, rocking chairs, mamaroos, strollers, more strollers, car seats, diapers, outfits, every fucking thing on this registry has already been purchased. That is an expensive ass car seat. Everything on here is fucking expensive. And it's all been purchased already. And it was pointed out to me in my live earlier talking about this, a lot of things. These men are really close to overlapping on the timeline of this baby. And that is so disturbing. That's not to say that Gypsy doesn't know when she was with who, and she might be able to pinpoint who it is. But she's still arguing with her ex on lives for views for their TV show, apparently, because I forgot they even had that. I don't know. Something about this stinks. Something about this stinks. I don't like it. Something about posting your announcement, immediately posting a fully fleshed out registry that has already all been purchased, to where all that's left to do is donate cash and to money towards the diapers. I don't fucking like it. Something about this stinks. I'm not accusing Gypsy of anything. I'm not accusing Ryan or what's this dude's name? Ken. I'm not accusing any of them of anything, but it stinks.
Gypsy Rose is pregnant, and her cash gift baby registry has sold out in less than 24 hours. Yet we dog our neighbor, our coworker, or a total stranger when they ask for help, whether that's $20 for gas to get him through until payday, a ride, whatever it may be. Imagine if we supported each other the way everyone is supporting her. The world might be a better place.
Oh, honey, I am so not threatened by you.
Have y'all seen this? So Gypsy Rose Blanchard posted a video to her TikTok stories the other day to another content creator, Nina the beauty influencer, and it has now adapted into a TikTok trend. So first, here's the video and what's going on.
Oh, honey, I am so not threatened by you. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. You're just mad because I have a Chad. And last time I checked, you don't have a man. So, looks like you're the one that's panini pressed. Call a spade, honey. Keep making content.
So here's what happened with Nina and Gypsy. Another content creator, Says Bree, who is friends with Gypsy and her mother, Christy, went live with either Gypsy and Ken or just Ken on one of her TikTok accounts. And apparently during this live, they were discussing Nina. So naturally, word got back to Nina and she posted this video. You can find it on her page. In this video, Nina is talking about how before Gypsy and Ken were together, that Ken was actually messaging and talking to Nina. And that during that first live stream that Gypsy and Ken did with Natasha Cooper, Ken invites Nina out for a drink. After Nina posted posted her video, Gypsy uploaded that video to her TikTok stories. Now, we all know that when you upload videos to your TikTok stories, it disappears after a while, but other accounts have re-uploaded Gypsy's video. So this account re-uploaded Gypsy's video. It has around 5 million views right now, and people are using the sound from this video to lip sync and create their own videos. Now, Nina did upload a response video to Gypsy's story, basically stating that her biggest flex will never be having a man. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments.
Christina, you hit the nail on the head. This comment is so accurate, and I don't want to repeat it because I just don't know if they'll have the video flag. But this comment is so accurate. Furthermore, nobody even knew who I was. If you look at the comments, everybody was like, well, who's Nina? Who's Nina? You literally pointed them in my direction. For what? I've gained almost 2,000 followers since you posted that to expose you for who you are. Because the truth about you is on my page. I don't think that this was very smart. But like I said, you lose your man, how you get. And now you his baby mama, baby, so good luck on that one, honey. Good luck on that one.
We need to stop at the store and get morning after pill. Ryan and I want a family, but right now it's just not gonna work out for us. Cheers. Not getting pregnant. Just want to make sure that I'm 100%, he's 100%, that we're stable for the child, and that's just not right now.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard, I think that's how you say her last name, is pregnant. So let's take a look. So Gypsy Rose went to jail by trying to convince her not so very smart ex-boyfriend to take out her mother, who she was convinced was using her. You know, I'm going to paraphrase the word. So then she ended up meeting a man, got engaged to him, dumped him while in jail, meet a teacher who probably has a fetish for young looking girls who do the unthinkable, got married to her while she was in jail, then get out, divorced this man within a year, then got back with her ex-fiance, and now she's pregnant for the ex-fiance. But according to the law, unless you've been divorced for 300 days, technically your child have to have your ex-husband's last name. So she's probably going to have to give her ex-husband, which is a teacher who is allegedly obsessed with like young girls who did stuff like this to their parents or just to someone, last name, even though he is a sweaty mess who is basically like a furnace. This is why she divorced him, allegedly, according to the show. And he overeats and he hoards things into the refrigerator because he don't want to throw away the food in case he don't have food for tomorrow, because that's what it was giving when I was watching the show. Anyways, this whole thing is a mess, and right now we are panini press. So let's get into it. This whole thing is a mess, and to me, I don't know, it just feels like the whole culture of Gypsy Rose, don't come for me, Gypsy Rose friends, you're all just as crazy as she is, but the whole culture of Gypsy Rose is giving mental illness. Now, I don't like to diagnose people, but it's giving something is not clicking, something is not right in the brain. Because, okay, so this young girl who basically convinced her man, who clearly, even from the TV show, they said that he wasn't all the way there, right? So she convinced him that she is a certain age and that her mother's holding her against her will so that he should save the damsel in distress, which clearly she was, because her mom was actually taking advantage of her, and her mom was a little cuckoo. But at the time of her mom being taken out, she wasn't actually holding her against her will, because she was able to go to the movies, they went to the bathroom stall and did the unthinkable, and did the do. And then afterwards, I guess her thing was so good that this man was convinced that he should take her mom out and then take all the blame. So the man is currently still in jail, even though Gypsy was just out here just doing everything under the sun. Anyways, so then the boy ended up going to jail after he took her mom out by using a, I'm trying to like play it all out for you guys so you guys can see. Anyways, so then she spent all her time, got a whole movie deal. The movie was on Hulu, a TV show was on Hulu about her life, and now she came out of jail. The boy's still stuck in jail, and then she ended up not only getting engaged, left that man, got married to the teacher who was really overweight, and then she told him that he was like a furnace when sleeping next to him because he sweats all the time, he's always hot. And then he hovered, like he not hovers, but he hoarders food in the house, like leftovers. He'll have like a bunch of little plates in the house, so she has to clean it out, which made him really, really upset. And that's one of the reasons why they got a divorce. But anyways, so she so she ended up getting married to him. Meanwhile, you could tell that he was a lonely teacher who was looking for a companion, and he was sticking behind her, sticking with her the whole time she was in jail. Then she got out of jail, then left him for the younger Ryan, or whatever his name is, Ken. She left him for Ken because now she's more happier with Ken. They ended up getting matching tattoos. I've been keeping up with the whole story, but I didn't want to talk about it because I just assumed that people just wouldn't like that kind of content. But until she became pregnant, that's when I started questioning, because to me, she hasn't had enough time as a person on her own, like to be free on her own in order for her to have a child. I'm not a mom, right? I don't have any children, but anyone can see this girl went from being under control of her mother to being under control of her husband after she got out of jail, to now jumping back to the first relationship where she met the first guy, Ken, and got engaged to him in prison. And now within a few months, now she's pregnant. You haven't lived your life yet. And did you see when she was getting out of jail how so many young teenagers on TikTok were basically taking her as like a god, like, oh my god, Gypsy Rose, counting the days until Gypsy Rose get out of jail. Everybody was like rooting for her. This girl literally took her mom out. I understand like her mom was doing this, but she wasn't abusing her like that. I know moms who literally will use their child and abuse them and all of these things, but she wasn't going through all of that. Her mom basically was getting a bunch of free stuff from the government, people who basically are easily manipulated, like a lot of white people. She was getting free stuff to take care of her daughter, and she made up all these different diseases and saying that her daughter was sick. But the whole time her daughter couldn't walk. She said that her daughter couldn't walk the whole time she could walk. She removed her teeth and everything, but that's her mom, So your mom is crazy, and she created a crazy daughter. And I know that Gypsy Rose is manipulating people, because how did she create a whole registry list, and then within 24 hours everything was purchased? And then even before she got out of jail, she was manipulating everybody into thinking that she was innocent. And I believe that, yes, I understand that she already did the time and she cannot be convicted twice for the same crime. But at the same time, she's not, she's manipulating the people. It's giving, because how did you all of a sudden sit down with Kim Kardashian? When did this all happen? How are you sitting down with Kim Kardashian? I mean, I understand, the Kardashians will take any and every publicity as long as they can make some money out of it, they will. But it's giving manipulation. Sorry, like Gypsy Rose. What? I think you need to take some time for yourself to really feel like you have been, so you can take the time to really be free on your own and experience life on your own. You went from one extreme to the next. We're going to watch this girl's life unfold and go to shit right in front of our face. I can guarantee you that within a few years, you're going to see that her and Ken will not be together anymore. Ryan's probably going to come out with a book because he's always on TikTok making lives, talking about the relationship, try to convince people that he doesn't overeat, he doesn't hoarder everything in the refrigerator. She was so upset that she cleaned out the refrigerator and threw all his old food away. It's a hot mess. This whole Gypsy Rose situation is a hot mess, and I'm watching it all go to shit. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. I don't know if you're a fan of Gypsy Rose, but that's my opinion on it. I think everything is crazy. Everybody involved in this is crazy. Gypsy Rose is a manipulator with her. Oh, and the dick is fire. We says Gypsy Rose. We says my veil. Anyway, see y'all later.